6.2 number 5. They're asking you to work with the law of cosines, and my missing side in this problem is 8. So I have a side, side, side situation. When you are dealing with triangles, it's important to understand how law of sines, how law of cosines work. Law of cosines can find angles that are obtuse. Inverse cosine works in quadrants 1 and 2, which would be between 0 and 180. Law of sines would only find things between 0 and 90. So whenever you have the choice in law of cosines, find the biggest angle first. Since 18 is the biggest side, angle B is the biggest angle. I'm going to just set up the law of cosines how I do it. So I put inverse cosine over here. It'll give me a parentheses. I'm going to put a top and a bottom inside the parentheses, as well as when I go to type it in my calculator, I'm going to put the top in the parentheses, and I'm going to put the bottom in another parentheses. So on top, I would take my other two sides, which are the 12 squared and the 8 squared, and then we will subtract the partner side. So I subtract the 18 squared. That's why I change colors when I lecture. On the bottom, you're just going to do 2 times the 2 non-partner sides, so the 12 and the 8. So it doesn't matter what order you put the 12 and the 8 in. So if I look at my calculator, double check that you're in degree mode. So I'm in degree mode, and I'm going to type in second cosine. Now I'm going to start another parentheses for the top, and we had 12 squared plus 8 squared minus the partner squared. So when you hit inverse cosine, you get a parentheses. Then you open another one for the top, close the top. Then when you divide, open one for the bottom, 2 times 8 times 12. So it's 2 times the non-partner sides, close it, and technically close inverse cosine. And I'm getting 127.16, and the 8 sitting behind the 6 says round up. So I'm going to call it 127.17. And notice WebAssign has the degree bubble sitting there for us, so we don't have to type that in. Now, to find the other angles, you would go ahead and do the same process. You just pick a different one. So let's go ahead and do angle. Let's do angle C next. So angle C, cosine inverse. Create your top and the bottom, and then you also want to make sure that you're opening and closing your top and the bottom as well. So if I'm going to do angle C, its partner is the 12. So what I would do is go 18 squared plus 8 squared minus that partner side squared, and then you can finish it on the bottom by doing 2 times 18 times 8. So let's go to our calculator. Second cosine, start one. We're going to do 8 squared plus 18 squared. Those are the non-partners minus the partner squared. Close it. Divide by 2 times the 8 and the 18. And when I do this, I'm getting 32.09 degrees. And then you can add those two angles and subtract from 180. Now I'm just going to show you something on the calculator. If I do 180 minus parentheses 127.17 plus the 32.09, I'm getting 20.74. So that time it worked. Other times you may have to use the 180 minus, and don't use the rounded answers. Go back and grab that one, and I'm going back and I'm grabbing that one. So I'm putting in the full decimal, and you'll notice this is also 20.74. But it is possible that if you use the two rounded answers, you might be off and WebAssign won't take it. So if you think you're right, try the full decimals and then see what you would round to.